Dear Greg, my husband Mark isn't too bad to get along with most of the time, but sometimes he just starts getting angry about things. You can see it building like a head of steam. He starts blaming me for something, then his tone of voice gets uglier and the volume gets louder, and so on. Within a short time, he's in a full-blown rage and I hardly know what to do with him. No matter what I say, it just seems to make things worse. He blames me for things I didn't do, and when I try to explain that, he gets even madder. So what's the solution?
You need to completely change the way you see your husband. When he's raging, he looks like he's so powerful and in control, doesn't he? Even fearsome. But he's none of those things. He's a frightened child. And the only reason he becomes angry is that he needs the temporary, false sense of power that anger gives him to protect himself from the emptiness and helplessness he feels when he doesn't have enough real love in his life. So remember this. He is reacting pretty much uncontrollably to a lifetime of pain. That's why he blames you. It's the only way he can see in the moment to get relief from his pain. It doesn't work, but he hasn't figured that out yet. Then, when you defend yourself from his blaming, what you call explaining yourself, you're getting in the way of his getting all the power he wants. Well, that's no good, not from his perspective. Now he has to come at you with more blaming to get his sense of power back. I'm sure you've noticed that. When he attacks you, he's on the field of death. Everybody who uses any getting and protecting behavior plays on that field. And he doesn't realize that no matter how much imitation love he gets on the field of death temporarily, he still loses. In fact, emotionally and spiritually speaking, he dies a little every time. And when he's in an argument with you, he wants you on the field of death with him. It's the only way he can deal with you. It's the only thing he knows. As soon as you defend yourself, what you're doing is jumping onto the field of death with him. In the short term, if you're sufficiently clever or forceful, you might actually win a battle here and there. But then what? You still lose, because everybody on the field of death dies. You die because you haven't addressed the real problem in your marriage, which is a lack of the real love you absolutely must have in order to be happy. So, what can you do? The first decision is to stay off the field of death. When you sense your husband begin to get angry, remember that the problem is a lack of real love. So anything unloving you do can only make things worse. For that reason, you must make a decision not to do any of those unloving things. You will not respond with anger. You will not act like a victim. You will not withdraw. You will not defend yourself. And yes, I understand that these are all the things you would naturally tend to do to protect yourself in the presence of an angry man. I get that. So, what will you do instead? We'll talk about that in our next session.